Hi, everybody. This is Jeff Fowler, the president of the Apartment Owners Association, and we are going to cover how you can save 15 to 20% on your gas bills every month without having to do much. So, um, excited about what the opportunity is here, and glad we can bring you along with us. And we're always about looking to find ways to save money or how to increase the return on investment for all of us here. And anyway, so excited about this live stream. We just had the 10 a.m. live stream about how to handle problem tenants, and you can always catch that on AOA USA, that channel on YouTube. So just search that and search a topic, and there's a lot of different content that will come up there. And anyway, so this one, we're just want to give a shout out to AutoHot for sponsoring this live stream. AutoHot USA provides advanced hot water control solutions designed to improve efficiency, conserve water, and enhance hot water performance for residential, multifamily, and commercial properties, serving both new construction and retrofit projects. Company specializes in innovative, on-demand recirculation systems that help eliminate wait times for hot water while saving thousands of gallons of water each year. Dedicated to developing sustainable hot water technology, and AutoHot helps property owners reduce energy use and improve overall system performance. And so that sounds pretty good to me. And if you have any teens in the house, you probably want the residential model for sure, like me, who just let the cold water run until it's hot. Um, so we have two special guests today, and they're going to show you how to save that money. And so please welcome Gabe uh, to this call. He's Vice President of Business Development at Innovative Manufacturing, the company behind the AutoHot brand. At Innovative Manufacturing, Gabe has led groundbreaking research initiatives funded by the California Energy Commission. With more than 20 years of experience in the hot water industry, Gabe has built a reputation as a leader in advancing energy efficient hot water technologies through innovation, research, and industry collaboration. So it's great to have you with us, Gabe. And also, we have Juliana with more than 15 years of experience in marketing, investor relations, and energy efficiency strategy. Juliana brings a results driven approach to the multifamily housing industry as marketing and energy program advisor at AutoHot. She helps property owners implement retrofit solutions and energy upgrades that support sustainability goals, improve tenant satisfaction, and enhance operational performance. So many of you may have seen them at one of our trade shows. They've been there for years already. And so it's great to finally have you guys on a live stream so that everybody can meet you. And I think you have a product. Do you guys service the whole state of California?
Yes and no. At our heart, we're a manufacturer of control systems, but we know a bit about how the controls work, how it helps save energy, and how the program process works, and we'll go from there. And thank you very much for that very warm introduction. Appreciate it. We've been big supporters of AOA for many years now. We go to all the trade shows. We don't miss a trade show. And it's great to see all the familiar faces every time we come back. So thanks for giving us this platform today. So yeah, so let's start off quick with a quick introduction. And I think, Jeff, you kind of nailed it. We are a manufacturer of controls, hot water controls. We're based in the East Los Angeles area, so we're local. We make different products depending on the application. So we make some products that are more geared towards single family residential, that on-demand recirculation pump that we were kind of alluding to prior. And then we also make controls that are geared more for big central water heating systems, like for apartment buildings and hotels and other types of, large commercial buildings. We do both new construction and retrofit. So these programs that we're going to talk about today is a great area for our ability to retrofit an existing building. With an eye towards energy code compliance, and this is more on the new construction side. Obviously, existing buildings don't need to conform to the latest Title 24 energy code, but in new construction, if you look at the requirements for water heating, everything is going towards more sophisticated controls, things that we do. So we make a lot of our products to address the ongoing changes to the energy codes. So let's talk real quick, just hot water 101. Maybe some of you are on here that have a building, you own, manage, or service a building that has a central water heater. Now, some apartment buildings have a small water heater in each apartment unit, but the ones that we're going to talk about today are the ones that have the single boiler or commercial water heater that makes hot water for the whole building. So that's really what this program is addressing, are those types of buildings, and they're called a central domestic hot water system. So the way it works is, cold water comes in from the city, it's heated by your commercial water heater or your boiler, and then that heated water, after it's been stored in a tank, gets pumped through a network of pipes that we refer to as a recirculation loop. And at the end of that loop on the return line is a small pump, and that pump just kind of typically runs 24 hours a day and circulates that hot water. And so that's so that people that wake up in the morning, when they go turn on their shower, they're not having to wait 10 minutes for the hot water to be delivered by just city pressure. And it really doesn't matter what type of heating system you have in your building. The picture here shows a typical 100-gallon commercial water heater. You might have something like this. You might have like a box boiler that looks completely different. Or you might have like an array of tankless water heaters that are all kind of joined together to produce enough hot water for the building. It doesn't matter what kind of heating equipment you have, or if you have solar thermal equipment to supplement your water heating. The controls that we're providing under this program is applicable to any type of water heating system. So, and the reason is because even though the equipment might be different, the plumbing is essentially the same. You have a cold water pipe that comes in from the city, and it's feeding your heating system cold water. It's making the hot water, and then it's sending that hot water through what we call a supply pipe out to the building. And then that pipe loops back around, and this is what we call the return pipe. And at the end of the return line is that pump. And that pump is what is circulating the hot water through your building 24 hours a day. So this is a slide I like to show because what this really does is it illustrates how energy wasteful these systems are. So the California Energy Commission did years of study on multifamily buildings with central water heating. And what they showed is, on average, statewide, that of all the energy that's put into it, only about 35% or about 1/3 of that energy comes out as hot water. The rest of it is lost. So you have where it says water heater losses here. What that is that these are your losses inside of your boiler room, or wherever your water heater is located. Have you ever stepped inside where your water heater is located and the room feels like very warm inside? That's energy loss. That heat that you feel is all energy loss, just evaporating into the air. Okay, so that's where we see a lot of energy losses from your water heater: combustion losses, standby losses. And then you have this one right here, recirculation loop losses. This is what we call our distribution losses. So you're losing about 1/3 of the energy just circulating that hot water through your line, 24 hours a day. So the strategy is to put more advanced controls on your boiler system and or your pump, and you can help to reduce these energy losses and make your system way more efficient. So the Energy Commission, again, they did look at different types of control strategies. So we make controls that basically can do all of these things. We can do recirculation pump controls, we can do the temperature modulation controls, we can do monitoring, and we can do it all with one simple controller. There's other things that you can do other than controls to mitigate your energy losses and make your system more high efficiency. Now, some of these things are just not what we do, in particular, but if you contact the Southern California Gas Company, or some of their trade ally contractors, they would be able to find people that can go in and do these other installations. So there's the recirculation pump controls. That's what we do. There's low flow shower heads and faucet aerators. Now you would think that, well, just by reducing flow, even though that does save water because we're reducing the water that's going down your drain, the flow, but it also reduces the amount of incoming cold water that has to be heated up by your water heater. So it actually saves both water and energy. So that's a very low cost, no cost type of proposition. Pipe insulation, very basic stuff. If you see any bare copper pipes anywhere around your building, insulate it. It is the best bang for your buck, and SoCal Gas does provide rebates for that as well. And then there's like more kind of bigger solutions, such as replacing the entire water heater with something that's high efficiency, or doing something that is somewhat new to the scene, switching from a gas water heater to an electric heat pump water heater. And so you guys might be getting more and more information about these programs that provide rebates and incentives to go all electric. The benefits there is that you get a higher efficiency water heater, and you don't have any of the combustion side effects. So no risk of carbon monoxide poisoning, for example. That's completely gone. No NOx, fumes that are going out into the atmosphere. So it's a great technology. If you guys are interested, let me know and I can steer you in the right direction. But let's talk about this controller program. So what is this program? It is a program that is funded by you, the ratepayer, and it's administered by Southern California Gas Company, and it provides for the no-cost installation of a temperature modulation control on any apartment building that uses a central water heater. So really, the definition of that is any water heater that's serving at least 2 apartment dwelling units. If you've got that, if that sounds like your situation, then congratulations, you qualify for the program. The controller, it's a fast and easy installation. It's non-invasive, and there's no hot water shutoff required. So you don't have to post notices to all of your residences that, hey, water's going to be shut off for an hour or whatever. Nope, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is just allow our technicians access to the room, and we're in and out within 30 minutes or so. We do, as part of the program, we do have to take time-stamped and geotagged photos to show that everything was installed properly. So there are definitely like guardrails behind this program in terms of making sure everything is done according to their regulations. So the controls can save upwards of about 20% off your total water heating gas bill, which is pretty good, especially for something that won't cost you anything. And as you can imagine, some of these buildings, they're running up thousands of dollars a month on water heating energy costs. All right, so let's talk more about how the controller actually works. So the first thing I want to address is, when are we actually using hot water in the building? And if you think about your own hot water use, day to day, those events can be very unpredictable and spontaneous, right? You don't know exactly when you're going to turn on your shower, wash your hands, and those things can be kind of all over the place. But if you look at the aggregate use of hot water in a multifamily building, the usage is actually very predictable, and from building to building. And so what we see is that there are peak periods of hot water use and off-peak periods of hot water use. The peak period of usage periods, which would make complete sense to all of us, is early in the morning, about 6 to 9 a.m. That's the time that we all get up, we get ready for the day, we take our shower, we get ready, we go off and do what we do for the day. Then there's going to be a little bit of a lull in hot water use in the middle of the day. And then we see another spike of hot water from about 4 to 8 p.m. And then after 8 p.m., we start to slowly see the hot water demand go down until it reaches its lowest point in the middle of the night, which this all is sort of intuitive, right? We're nocturnal creatures. We sleep at night. So very few of us actually use hot water in the middle of the night. But I mention that because what we're doing with the water heater is going to set the temperature based on those peak and off-peak periods of hot water use. So the control system is called temperature modulation, or I should say the control strategy is called temperature modulation. So the controller connects to the water heater temperature aquastat or set point, and it's going to automatically adjust the water temperature based on that time of day when hot water is being used or not used. And during the peak periods, we keep the temperature at its existing state. So if you've got your temperature at 125 or 130 degrees, currently it's set at that temperature 24 hours a day, but it doesn't need to, because it only needs to be at that temperature during the peak periods when the most hot water is being used. We need to have the water being heated hot enough so that we have enough heating capacity for those peak usage periods. But during the off-peak periods, we can actually turn the temperature down slightly, save energy, and still provide sufficient hot water for anybody that needs it during those periods. So during the low or no periods, like in the middle of the night, the temperature resets to a lower temperature. And then when that peak period starts back up, the temperature goes back up again. So the control does all of this automatically. So just by employing this tried and true energy saving strategy, you can reduce your total water heating gas use by up to 20%. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more. It all kind of depends on each building's, characteristics and variability. But a good average is somewhere between 15 to 20% is a good average. Let's talk about the installation process. So it's quick and easy. It takes less than an hour to install. It's non-invasive, does not require shutting off the hot water system, and therefore no tenant notifications need to be posted. And it will work on most types of water heaters and boilers. I will say that the one type of water heater where this controller will not work is the really old school type of water heaters that do not have what's called an electric igniter. Most water heaters today have an electric igniter that start the burner and get the water heater heated that way. Some of the really older equipment uses a gas burner that turns on. That does not qualify, but I would say that those types of water heating systems, they're very rare. I'd say less than 5% are actually those types of water heaters. So in the event you don't know, that's okay. You can take a picture and send it to us and we can tell you. Otherwise, if we show up and to do the installation and we discover that maybe one of the water heaters is this type, no harm, no foul. We just can't do the installation. We're not going to, charge you for anything like that. So, who qualifies? So again, must be a multifamily building with at least 2 apartment units served on one central water heating system with a recirculation pump. You must be a customer of SoCal Gas. So if you're attending today and your buildings happen to be in the city of Long Beach, I'm sorry, but they have their own gas utility in Long Beach and they don't provide the same program, unfortunately. But anything outside of the city of Long Beach, you're going to qualify. You must not have received a rebate controller within the past 5 years. So this is kind of an interesting rule, is that our company, we are constantly evolving and improving our controllers. And so the gas company does allow us to come back to a building that we may have installed more than 5 years ago to put in a more updated controller that might have some more features and functions. And that's it. How do you enroll? Very easy. All we need to do is get a copy of your building's gas bill. We have a little one-page form that you sign, and basically that assigns the rebate to us so that we can do all of that work up front, and then we get paid directly by SoCal Gas. So Juliana or a program representative will contact you once we get the green light from SoCal Gas to schedule the installation. So this is just kind of like the same. Once we do the installation, you'll also get a follow-up email from our administrative staff, just letting them know that the installation was successful. If we find some things in the boiler room, if our technician discovers some things that you should be, made aware of, such as maybe your pump isn't working, or maybe there's leaks in your pipes, anything like that, we're going to let you know. So it's kind of got a dual benefit too, is that not only do we install the controls, but we'll make you aware of any, issues or problems that are obvious to us. So last but not least, every controller that we install has a remote monitoring capability built in, which means that you can actually monitor your hot water system, monitor the temperatures, monitor the run times of your equipment, and you can actually get alert notifications sent to you if things are not working properly, or if your boiler shuts down, if your pump stops working, you can have alerts sent to you. It's a free platform. It's a web app that we provide. Now, provided that we can connect to an open Wi-Fi network. Our experience has been is that most buildings do not have that like an available Wi-Fi network. So alternatively, we can provide you with a cellular router that we just plug into an outlet nearby, and that will connect the controller to the web server. In that case, we do charge $15 a month for the cellular data fees, but if you are able to connect it or able to provide an open Wi-Fi network, then this feature is completely free for you to use. So here's kind of an illustration of how the web app, how you might see it online. You just go to AutoHotEMS.com, you set up a profile, and you can list all of your buildings. If you're a property management company and you have 50 buildings, you can list all of your properties on here, and make sure that all of your temperatures are set to where you want them to. Make sure that your pumps are set to the right controls, etc. And again, everything is customizable on here. And if you're interested, we can do kind of a different one-on-one presentation to kind of take you through all of the different features of this. But just know that every control that is installed has this feature built in as an option. So I know I kind of went through a lot right there, but at this point, we'll open it up to any questions or comments. And I should note, as we alluded to before, is if you go to our website, AutoHotUSA.com, you can find some of our other products that are more for single family homes. So if you are interested in one of our on-demand pump systems for your house, that will eliminate the wait for hot water, and it will only operate when it's needed. So it's the most energy efficient type of recirculating system that's available. And it does meet California's stringent Title 24 energy code requirements. And if you're interested in that, we'd be happy to give you a special AOA coupon code. Just reach out to us and we'll give you a nice 30% discount coupon code. So,
Wow, that's really incredible. It's very simple, but like just not having it heat the water when people aren't using it. That's just so common sense. My goodness.
we try to put smart controls on dumb things.
Yeah, no, that's a no-brainer, man. And then it's literally free. Just curious for the people that, we could be getting people watching this from in different parts of the state.
Oh yeah.
How much would it cost if there's not a sponsored program for them? And I guess every one of these is customized, so
Yeah.
that's hard to tell, but
Yep, that's a good point. So the list price is around 750. But we actually do have programs up in Northern California too. It's just that we
okay,
wouldn't be able to provide the installation service part of it.
right.
So if you have properties or assets in Northern California and you're interested, reach out to us and we can figure out and to be perfectly honest, like these controllers are not difficult to install. It doesn't necessarily need to be installed by a licensed contractor. You could be a
Hmm.
handyman. You can install it. It's like I said, it's not invasive. You're not cutting into pipes. You're
Uh,
not doing anything like that. So
it doesn't sound like you need a permit either.
no, because it's just a
Oh,
control. It's just a
yeah.
control. You're not changing anything about your equipment. We're not taking out anything or subtracting out or replacing anything from your
Mhm.
existing hot water system. We're
And
just adding a simple control. Yeah.
and then you mentioned this is for the residential. What about, a lot of members and including me, we have commercial property. And so I was curious, is there a program for that? Or I'm sure you support it, it would support that
Yes.
eventually.
That's a good question. There are some programs for commercial. The rebates aren't as good as they are on the multifamily side, just because the calculated energy savings are so much better on buildings that have like a lot of hot water use.
Mhm.
That's why we're able to make it kind of no cost
Sure.
to the multifamily and like hotels and dorms and places like that. But like let's say you have an office building, right? You could still apply our controls and they work great and they save money. It's just that from a utility standpoint, they're not seeing it, as much energy savings because there's just a lot less hot water being used in those situations. But
Yeah.
to answer your question directly, there is a program called CBEST, which is a program for SoCal Gas. It's for commercial buildings that use less than 50,000 therms of gas a year. So think small office, small retail, things like that have a water heater. Yes, there is potentially a rebate there. It's just not going to be, it may not cover 100% of the cost.
Mhm. Yeah, one of the questions here in the chat, what about San Diego? Is it eligible there?
Yeah, great question. So we do have a program in San Diego. Unfortunately, right now, that program has been oversubscribed for the year,
Mm.
and so most likely we wouldn't be able to re-enlist. Well, actually, I take that back. There's several programs, and so we have one program that's statewide. That's the statewide midstream program. So we actually could do installations in San Diego under that program. But there's also a different program called the RZNET program. That's through San Diego Gas and Electric. And the installing contractor there is a company called Synergy Companies, and we've partnered with them. They install our controls, by the busload, not by the busload, but they do a lot of our installations. That particular program was oversubscribed. So if you have San Diego assets, again, reach out to us and we can figure out which program to fit you in. Because we're talking about like the program that we talked about today is just one of several different programs
Right.
that we offer here in California. So it's just kind of finding out like where your building's located, what type of building do you have, and what type of control can we install that makes it preferably a no cost type of deal for you.
Great. And what's the support look like? It gets installed and everything. And everybody, I know some people have asked questions, and if you're in on the Zoom call, just raise your hand. There's if you hover, if you just run your cursor, you'll see something there. Yeah, Kevin just has a question. Um, but yeah, so give us questions, or you can, if you want, raise your hand and we'll let you
Yeah,
read out loud. But here it is. Can this be used for commercial strip malls or only apartments? So similar to the question I had there.
no, these controls are applicable to any building that uses hot water.
Cool.
So it can be a strip mall, it can be apartment building, it can be any type of building that's got a water heater and a recirculation system. It is completely building agnostic. It's just about like which programs will support the funding of the
Mhm.
project. Now, if you do have commercial buildings, maybe they're not eligible for any type of rebates or incentives. We can still do something for you as the manufacturer. We can still provide you some favorable pricing. Um, you know, sort of like, I guess, an in-house rebate, if you will, something like that. Um, but yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
Right, and then you just think ROI too. So if it's saving 15 to 20%, just think what's your gas bill,
Yeah.
and just kind of, you could do a little math to get there. But then also there's the whole side of just conserving water,
Yes.
and for
Yes.
people that, I think number one, people are looking for ROI, but number two, and for some people, it might be flip-flop, but just even saving the water um, is
And
really a huge deal here in California anyway.
yeah, and there's actually a third benefit too. With the controls, you actually reduce the runtime of your equipment. So it
Mm,
actually reduces the wear and tear on your system. So there's a non-energy and non-water benefit as well. So, and especially with the with recirculation pump controls, when you're running that pump 24 hours a day, it's just corroding your pipes from within. And so,
mm,
when you hear or see pinhole leaks popping up on your pipes, that's mostly because those pumps are just being left uncontrolled. So, yeah, we see a lot of maintenance people want our controls, not so much that they're concerned about saving energy. It's because they're seeing that they have high mineral content in their water, and that hard water, once it's heated, is like sandpaper on their pipes, and they
mm,
just want to like control that better.
great point. Okay, Juliana, definitely go ahead and uh,
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to mention to everyone here, just like our program, we participate in installers our controllers in with the SoCalGas Multifamily Energy Efficiency Program. Funding is always subjective to change. This is a great control. We install the device for you and we check back on a regular basis. It's not like we're installing something for you. We always try to follow up and check in on your property. And I think it'd also be a good point too for to Gabe to kind of go over how easy installation is on the control, how non-invasive it is. Like there's no hot water service interruptions at all.
Yeah, I think I touched on that earlier. That really we don't need anything other than just access to the water heater, and that everything is pretty quick and easy and non-invasive. There's really not much more to say than that, other than like, the controls can have adjustments made, setting adjustments. So, Jeff, you mentioned something about what kind of a support do we provide. Um, every controller that we install as the manufacturer, every controller that we install, if there's a problem or an issue, we can certainly go back and make that change to the controller to help maybe fine tune it to the characteristics of your building. And we were also happy to train any in-house maintenance people on how to do those adjustments themselves. It's very easy. There's not much to it. So yeah, we've been doing these programs now for the better part of 20 years. So
mm,
we're not going anywhere. We don't intend to go anywhere. So, but
awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so for those of you that are on the call, you may or may not be able to see the number. It's 866-495-2734. That's 866-495-2734. And AutoHotUSA.com, like AOAUSA.com. I got the USA thing going on
yeah,
there.
nice. Great
And
minds,
Juliana,
right?
did you have another question there?
Yeah, just one quick thing. For any other like energy efficient programs or measures that you guys might be interested in today, reach out to us. We know these other people. We'd be glad to point you in the right direction rather than you searching hours on end for the right person or the right connection. We don't mind sending that information to you.
Great. Thank you, Juliana. And one other thing I know, like in LA City, there's recently they wanted to ban rubs. And I'm not sure if you know
I
what that.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we've been asking the members to send a letter and show up, and anyway, so I think there's a pretty good turnout. No, there was no meeting. There was no meeting. They canceled it. Maybe Nithya Raman will have time on our hands now to start having the housing committee meetings. But that's another way. Where the tie-in here is just it's another way to save on your utility bills. And if anytime you can cut those down, you're increasing your margin, and margins are already thin. and with everything going up. So really for rubs is another thing you should look into if you're not using it. In some places like San Jose, it's banned, which is really unfortunate because it's one of the best ways to conserve water. You know, when people have to pay for it, they end up conserving it instead of just wasting it. But even beyond that, the ROI and anyway, so that's something that you can look into for sure. And yeah, so hopefully all different sorts of ways we're going to be able to try to save save money on utilities. And anyway, so I just want to mention that one. Check your your inbox, because we sent something out a few weeks ago, and there is a link that we provide in there along with the number, like the issue number, article, whatever it is. And so you can take that number, make a public comment, and then when you do that, it goes to everybody on the city council. And anyway, so I just want to mention that again. The more that we all take action, the more we get cooperation from people in City Hall. So, and I wish we could do something in San Jose, but guys, whenever anything comes up, it's little things, but you gotta take action and just make your voice heard in order to push back against all the invasions of your property rights. But anyway, so I just want to mention that because it's somewhat adjacent. And if you're on the call, you're looking to save some money, I think, and looking to conserve. So anyway, appreciate everybody for joining. And yeah, so thank you so much, uh, Gabe and Juliana, for sponsoring this for AutoHot. And hopefully, you know, this is a message that I hope we get out to all of our members, and hopefully they're using it. So
And we'll see you all at the next $1 Million Trade Show.
yeah, August 19th. And
Yeah.
so
We'll be
check them
there.
out there. Look for they have a big old black banner with the AutoHot, and
You can't miss us.
you absolutely can't miss them. So hey, thanks again, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.